You're tight, stiff, restricted. Stretching doesn't work for you. It didn't work for me either until I discovered this. Hi, I'm Mitch from Upright Health, where we help you think right, move right, and feel right. If you're new here, be sure to check the description box below for more helpful links. Stretching. It sucks for you because you're stiff as hell. This was me too. When I started stretching, I would get into a stretch and it would just feel like restriction and blockage and really uncomfortable. And I actually wouldn't feel a stretch in the places that I was supposed to be feeling a stretch. This led me, and it might lead you, to believe that you just aren't meant to be flexible, or that your structure won't allow you to be flexible. You've probably tried all the classic stretches, like the frog stretch, the butterfly stretch, couch stretch, and many hamstring stretches. If this is you, you're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle: strengthening. Specifically, strengthening in those stretched positions. So your body perceives a stretched position as vulnerable, not because you're incapable of going there, but because you are not strong enough to control those stretched positions. So to show you what this looks like, I'm gonna get into a stretch that's pretty hard for me, the butterfly stretch. So the important thing to think about is, what is the goal of this stretch? For this stretch in particular, my goal is to get my knees to the ground. And so with this thinking, you have to think about which muscles are lengthening and which muscles are shortening. In this case, the muscles on our inner thigh are lengthening, and the muscles on our outside hip are shortening. The reason this is important is because these are the muscles that we want to fire and strengthen when we're in this position. So if you get into this position and you don't feel a stretch, the first thing you're gonna do is you're going to fire those muscles. So if I wanna fire my outside hip muscles, my glutes, I can do two things. I can put my hands on the outside of my knees and I can push down into them, or I can do it without my hands, but it's the same action. I'm just trying to pry my knees apart. When I'm doing this, I'm gonna start easy, but over the course of 15 seconds, I'm gonna ramp up and try to go as hard as I can. And then I'll relax. The next thing I'll do is I'm gonna put my hands on the top of my knees, and I'm gonna contract into my hands like I'm trying to squeeze my legs together. The same thing here. Start nice and easy and just ramp up to about as hard as you can push. And when you relax into the stretch, see if you can go a little bit further. So initially, by using these contractions, your muscles will relax, and you might be able to find the stretch you're looking for. Once you found the stretch, your job is not finished. This is just the beginning. So now what we're looking to do is we're looking to increase that stretch. Once you've lengthened, say maybe a minute or 2 minutes, it's time to use those contractions again. Remember, we want to strengthen in these positions. So let's say I've been sitting here for 2 minutes and I'm in a really lengthened position, which I am in right now. I'm gonna do it again. I'm going to fire my glutes outward like I'm trying to bring my knees to the ground. Relax. And then I'm gonna fire into my hands on top of my knees, trying to squeeze together. And relax, and I'll sit deeper. When we're stretching like this, you might be in a stretch for 5 to 10 minutes. That might not be how it is at first, but as time goes on with your stretching, this is what we're looking for. When you're first getting into stretching like this, it might register as pain, and you might only be able to stay in the stretch for 1 to 2 minutes, and that's fine. But the important thing is that you continue to do these stretches and continue to do these contractions, and at a certain point, it'll stop registering as pain, and you will start to understand that it's just a stretching sensation. So when I first started doing this stretch, my knees were way up here and they were almost in my chest, and it was really uncomfortable, and it didn't feel like I was stretching anything. And so I just kind of believed in what I knew, and started going into this stretch more often and started doing these contractions. And as you see, I mean, I'm made some pretty good progress, and I've still got a long ways to go. But now it feels like a stretch, and I can consistently access this deep range of motion and even deeper ones as I continue to work on it over time. And remember, we're using the butterfly stretch as an example. This goes for any stretch you're working on. Think about what muscles are lengthening, what muscles are shortening, and fire both of them. If you can't feel the stretch in the right place, don't give up on the stretch. Use this contractions and strengthening in the stretch and see how it works for you. So if you like this video, hit the like button, share it with a friend who needs to open their hips, subscribe, and remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.